So you wanna be a player, but your wheels ain't flying. You gotta hit us up to get a pimped out ride.
You've got to pimp my ride.
Damn right.
You've got to pimp my ride.
All right, so I wanted to give you an overview on the MR2. So, I got to give you the background story and the history that me and Mr. 2, I call him, have been through for quite some time now. So I got my MR2 back in 2006. 2006, my MR2 was about 16 years old, and I've had him for about 14 years now. So we have a strong history. 14 years. Having a 16-year-old car makes it, you might have guessed, a 30-year-old vehicle. So it is an antique. What's special about Mr. 2 is that, man, he's just been reliable. We've had one or two instances where, you know, something went wrong and he wouldn't start up right away, but he's been very, 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 very good to me. And so if you haven't heard me before, I'm a huge, huge fan of anything that is well built. And the reason for that is that you don't have to get things that are new. You can get things that have been around a while. And the nice thing about that is they have a track record and a history. And so I haven't had to do very much. I haven't really done very many upgrades. I remember the big upgrade that I had when I got the MR2 was it had an iPod car radio system. And that was 14 years ago. So that was a huge plus. My Accord didn't even have that. So it was just been so much fun sort of having it. It still needs a little bit of work on the outside, but it's a survivor. I remember the last major fix that I did to it, I had to have the rear calipers upgraded, and they had a very hard time finding them. There were only 6, that is correct, 6 left in the United States that were available. So it's a survivor. Survivor is kind of the best way to say it. And so anytime I drive drive Mr. 2, I think to myself, man, like, we have so much in common because we're both survivors. We've been through a lot. We're still standing. We're well built. I like to think I'm well built just in the same way. And so I'm gonna walk you through some of the upgrades that I've actually gone through. I was gonna outsource it at first, but I had more time on my hands, and I love a challenge. So, I had to take it on for myself. So, without further ado, here we go. All right, what we have here is my 1991 Toyota MR2, and I've been doing a few upgrades on it with the spare time that I've had. My bucket list was to install an updated speaker system, which I probably did about maybe 25% of that within the last couple years, but I've had some more time to work on some other stuff. So I've upgraded the tweeters and the rear speakers. So let me see if I can get in here. All right, so I upgraded the rear speakers here. Something that doesn't seem like it would be too complicated was definitely a little bit time consuming, but made that happen. These are some speakers that I installed, Polk Audio speakers, I forget, DB series. I forget how long ago I put those in. That's probably the first audio upgrade I did. And then I also upgraded the tweeters. They're a little older. So that was one of the many upgrades that I made. After I did that upgrade, I figured, you know what, let me just not leave my buddy here in disrepair. So we decided we were going to do some electronics upgrades, only to find out that the battery had died. So we upgraded the battery. That was the first part of the project. Then we started getting into everything. So my goal was to have, wanted to have a remote start, just for the fact that when I go play hockey at nights, it'd be a lot easier to just have the car warmed up and ready to go. So I was able to put a remote start on there. This vehicle never had an alarm, so I was able to install a car alarm. First product I did with a car alarm. A little bit nervous on that because I didn't want to mess anything up, especially having to take my car to the shop or anything. Didn't want to have to deal with that. So I was able to put in the car alarm. In addition, I thought it'd be kind of neat to do a push to start. So I was able to get a whole PKE infrastructure put in for push to start. So you can see all the wiring. I still had to finish up down there, but I was able to configure everything. It's kind of nice to actually open the door locks with a remote as opposed to a key. And let's see, push button ignition's gonna go in there. Oh yeah, and I can't forget upgraded touchscreen radio system. Same one I have in my other car. This one had an iPod interface a while back, and that made it nice to be able to hook up a phone to the player. But these days you had to have touchscreen, and oh yeah, I mean, as I go into one upgrade, it ties to another, so I couldn't have the touchscreen without the backup camera put in place. So I was able to put the backup camera in place, and every time you start working on something you realize what you're missing. So my trunk didn't open by itself, so I put in a trunk solenoid as well. Let me actually show you that. So everything's finally come together, and now I have to take this puppy. Let me open this. There we go. Alright, now I need to put everything back together. So this should be fun. As you can see, the solenoid's right there. It goes into the same clip system, but it has its own separate actuator, so I was able to tie that to the car alarm and actually open everything from the remote. So as I work in putting everything back together, I'll be coming out with an updated video of what everything looks like when it's up and running, along with a few demonstrations of each of the pieces, what I worked on, and how everything works out. So we'll be following up soon with the updates. As you can see, once all the major electronic pieces are done, my MR2 could use a little bit of a paint job here, but otherwise it runs well. We're going to give it a once look over after we get everything officially put back together, and can't wait to take it out on the road and see how it performs. Alright, till next time, signing off. Alright, as you can see, this is my 1991 MR2. Put a couple upgrades in it. First upgrade I'll show you is the car alarm. So the car alarm was a nice addition. I can now unlock and lock the car at the convenience of my car alarm fob. I didn't really necessarily need one, but I figured that since I was putting everything else in, I might as well have the ability to actually be able to unlock and lock the car. What I was also actually able to do is put in a trunk release. So my car did not come with a power trunk release. Essentially I had to go in the car and I had to actually pop a lever for it to actually open up. But in order to put one in, I actually had to put an actuator for a trunk release in the car. So I was actually able to run that along with the backup camera cables through the trunk. I had to go through the engine in order to do that. So let me actually show you how that actually works. Okay. Alright, so there we go. I pop that open. So that makes it nice. When I'm coming back from hockey games, I can just pop the trunk and just be able to throw my stuff right in there, which will be a big plus once I actually can start playing again. So you can see the trunk release opened up. I actually put the actuator over here. That was definitely a nice place for it. Wasn't really sure how I was going to put it in. Took a little trial and error to get everything working, but I was happy to actually make that work. The next thing I will show you is the remote start. So let's see if I can actually get that working this time. All right, there we go. Let me try that one more time. There we go. Sometimes it's the angle that I'm at. There we go. So as you can see, starts up. Again, I'm still getting used to the remote, so sometimes that doesn't work 100%. But since that does open up, as you can see, everything's locked right now. But you can use an alarm to open it back up. There we go. So we can get in. Got the remote start in here. The other nice thing was the push button ignition. Yay! Push button ignition makes things very, very nice. I don't have to worry about the key anymore, so I can just kind of get in and go. Also put in the same interface. I told you that I put in the Accord. So if I actually close the door, all right, and I'll show you the actual backup camera. So let me actually put that in the backup. There we go. You see the backup camera is in there and working, which is a plus. So that makes things very nice. So being able to remote start, just kind of let the car warm up when it gets a little colder outside. Don't have any AC. That's kind of an unfortunate thing about some of the older cars. Sometimes it's not actually worth fixing. So I kind of had to deal with that. All right, so I shut everything off, as you can see. So that's actually been a welcome plus for everything. I'll lock it. And last thing I'll actually show you. So I showed you the push button ignition, showed you the trunk release, showed you the car alarm. Now something else this car has that makes it super nice now is PKE, or the key fob. So this actually doubles as a key fob as well. And I'm going to put it in key fob mode. So give me a moment to remember how to do that. All right, so now it's in key fob mode. So what that means is if I walk away a certain distance, the car locks itself, but if I get within a certain distance, I don't actually even have to press the key fob anymore. Oh, the door will just unlock. Oh, let me try that again. I may have taken it off PK mode. Let's see. I back away a certain distance. Let me try it again. Try the other door. Usually if it beeps once, PK mode is on, I may have taken it off. All right. All right. So let me try that again. All right, so, okay, here we go. I think that did it. I think when I changed the settings, I messed it up. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. So, a little finicky in switching between modes, but as you can see, it actually just locked. If I walk up to it again, there we go. All right, unlocked. All right, so just a little finicky when I'm switching between modes, but it makes it kind of nice if I'm just getting in the car, getting out of the car, moving around, do what I need to do. Just walking up. All right, sweet. Okay, last thing I'll actually show you is the sunroof. So I actually put in a moonroof cover. I'll show you what that actually looks like. This was part of a simpler test. So this actually has a moonroof, but it gets kind of hot without AC. So you may not be able to see it too well from here. If I lift the moonroof up, there it is. So I'll actually take it out so you can see it. This was something that took me about a day to put in, but I'm going to take it out, show you what I did. All right, so as you can see, I'll put it just right here. As you can see, this is the moonroof cover that I made. I took a step-by-step approach by what I found online. Just putting together corrugated plastic, then cutting that to the mold of the actual moonroof itself. And then once I actually was able to do that, I put in some wire, what type of wire? Oh, hanger wire. Probably every 3 to 4 inches. All the way across. Then I covered it with felt, and I used some, some adhesive, and then voila, here you go. So I was actually able to put this in there. It makes a nice touch. So let me actually make sure I put it back. All right, there we go. Okay, put that down. Voila. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of checking out the MR2 from the electrical standpoint. Last thing I need to do is a paint job, and probably a good car washing as well. I haven't washed my car, I can't tell you how long, but can't wait to get on the road again, especially a nice cool night, headed to a hockey game. And yeah, again, just wanted to share the projects on the bucket list. Again, this project for me, 6 years I was looking to do all this work, and I was able to do it all, and man, it feels so good. All right, so hope to catch you on the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one. Catch you soon.